All right, welcome back to another episode of AchromatiCraft. If you didn't see last episode, we moved into 1.20. Yes, it was finally time. Well, now what are we actually going to do with some of those features? You get a little hint from the guy behind me, but we're going to start looking at building different towns or different groups of people, kind of like this. So jumping back into our world, you can see this guy has an armor trim on his armor. Oh, it doesn't look like this one wraps to the back. You can see it a little bit here that it goes up through the legs and then up to his arms. So really what I want to do is start exploring what these different groups could be. You're getting a big reveal into what I was hoping to do and have like this type of place, which is very more medieval, the type of houses, the way the styling works. I want to expand that. I want to have a whole bunch of different districts across the whole map so that we're not just building in this one village, but we're building villages kind of across the whole board that have been infected by this grayscale infestation that we have here. So that is what we're going to start figuring out today, is what do these different people look like that come from the different districts. So I've got a list here of things we need to start gathering. So a whole bunch of leather for our armor, the dyes that we're going to need, the quartz iron ingots, the netherite ingots that help us put the trim on, and then obviously some armor stands and more heads. We have a decent amount of heads in here, although some of them we may not use, like the horse heads are kind of weird that the eyes are on the side, or maybe like some of these cod might not work. But I want to get a whole bunch more so that we can have really different people from different areas and build all of that out. And so you can kind of see we have some examples back here. No armor trim on them, but you can see we can get quite a wide variety of characters in our village. So that is our task for today. So let's start by let's go get some more leather. All right, and before we get too far into breeding up cows, we might as well check. We had a whole bunch of cows before. There we go. Oh yeah, we already got actually quite a bit of leather. So maybe for now we won't do a ton of getting that. Like that might be enough. Let's see if we have some wheat. Oh yeah, we have plenty of bells. So I'll at least go breed up those cows. Looks like we might have enough leather here to at least get us started. So let's come out and look at our book. So that's the leather. Next, let's go get some of that dye gathered up. Okay, and we didn't have very many cows to start with, so we're going to have to breed some up here. So even though we got enough leather, I still want to get this population of cows up so we can get a little bit more leather, because I want to build lots of people in our city. So we got those guys. Now it's time to go get that dye. Now the easiest thing is if we just go down to our skeleton spawners down here, which is super easy to get to. Just drop down 2 levels, come up here, and we can get bones. I believe they're in this one. Yep. So that's going to be easy white dye. Now let's pop up back to where I have my black dye. So being so close to a river, we've actually, every time we've had a little break, just go in the rivers that surround both that side and the side here. And we've been able to actually get a lot of, you can see both salmon heads and squid heads, but that also has been bringing in lots of ink. So we're going to have plenty of ink. And I'm going to make way too much dye here. I'm pretty sure of that. But let's hurry and just craft up some. This is actually pretty easy. Oh, and yeah, I forget bones have so much. So this is going to be really easy for us to get the dyes we need. Y'all know how this works. Just unpack a few of these. We'll get plenty of that. Plenty of light gray. Well, let's do a little more on the gray. Couple different stacks there. Got our black. We'll do some more of that. We might as well just make a bunch of white, because I have a feeling we're going to do a bunch of white armor. But guys, this isn't the way I want to kind of experiment in this world. Like we're probably going to mess up a whole bunch of times. So let's actually jump into the creative world I showed you last time, where I started looking at what all the different armor trims are. We only got 5 different ones last time, so we might have to start there, or we might go exploring. But let's at least jump into that creative world, and I'll kind of show you the concept of what I'm thinking behind some of these different districts. So let's jump over there. Now that we're in this creative world, you can see hopefully a little bit of the examples. I've got a bunch here set up. But the idea is that if we look at like the kingdom or district, we'll have to decide if they're kingdoms or districts. But the idea is that we have a snow one, and we kind of have the main color palettes. And we haven't built this in this area yet, so this is kind of just my best guess. But I want to have a banner, and then maybe have that reflect in the clothes. So where this is snow and that's like a snowflake, maybe these are trying to represent snowflake patterns. You can see there's a person there. Here's kind of the recipe I used for that. Here's one that's the desert, which I want to convert a whole desert into a place. And you can see maybe theirs is a banner of a sun. And so maybe they use this trim to show that same sun. And maybe since this was black, maybe this trim should be black. I don't know. That's what I'm wanting to explore, is to see, do they all have the same clothes, or do they just use the same trims, but we can change the color so they're still feel like they're from the same district, but not everyone is matchy-matchy. So I've started laying out a bunch of these here. This is kind of the area we've been working in. And so I don't have a banner or trim armor out there. I want to have a modern version, an underworld version. This one's cool. I've been actually concepting this a whole bunch before I even started the series. I think this could be really fun. An alien, which is, imagine that these aliens came from another world and they're now on our planet. A swamp people, and a capital. I think this one's going to be really cool. I really want this to be very high scale, upscale type place. And then there's room for more. I don't know what that more is going to look like, but let's go through at least kind of how I've been concepting these. So I'm going to jump over and grab some resources real quick, and let's do the medieval one. I have an idea for an axe on that. So let me grab the stuff, and then we will start building. All right, and I went ahead and grabbed some dies, and then we're going to need one of the banner patterns. Now, this one's super easy to make. It's basically an oxide daisy and a paper that gives you your flower charge pattern. Some of the others are a little harder. You have to go find them, but this one's super easy, and you'd be surprised how many different banners use it. So what we're going to do now is I think we're going to start with a black base. Okay, and now what we're going to start with is taking that black banner and putting that flower charge and white dye in there. It's going to give us kind of this cool shape, and we won't need the rest of that for just a second. Next, we're going to put the triangle on the top. I think these all have real names, but I have no clue what they are. And then the next is we're going to do some light gray here and go with a cross. And if you haven't ever looked these up, there are lots of tutorials kind of online of how to build these things and make them look good. That's what I'm following, is someone's tutorial. Well, I guess it's just a screenshot. And then we're going to do some black here on the top. And that is this guy. And as you can see, we're getting pretty close. And that is it. This is going to be our medieval banner. So the idea is that this is kind of like your axe, battle axe type of deal. And I think that's going to be pretty cool when you think of all the armor, all the weapons, all the different things that could come from this district. Next, we got to find an armor trim that kind of matches this style. Let's jump over and see what we can figure out. Okay, now this is going to be a hard decision because, as you can see, these trims weren't necessarily made to be specific to a district. So a lot of it's going to be kind of our creativity of like, does this stripe look more modern, and does this look more like we kind of did over there with the desert, and that's kind of the sun? Or is this like some kind of target? I don't know. Maybe that's an archer. I don't know what it means, but some of these we're just going to be looking at. Like this to me almost looks like he's got a medal on. This one obviously looks like maybe he's underground. Like, oh, and that makes sense. Ancient city, because it makes the armor mostly dark. And so some of these, even like this, almost to me looks like a robot with little eyes or lines or whatever little buttons. Some might be our alien one now that I look at it. Even the thing here looks pretty cool. So anyways, that might be our alien. I don't know what some of these are going to be, but as I think kind of about layered armor and what might be in a medieval thing, is I'm thinking this one. Where do we even get that? Ocean Monument. Oh, great. I didn't want to have to take on one of those, but that is okay. So let's grab one of those, and then let's get a few things of armor here. So, oops, we don't need a helmet. But let's grab a few of these. And if you haven't seen, it's not too bad to make some of these. So I'm going to grab some different trim colors here. Hopefully we don't have to use the netherite, but we might. But let's just at least like throw this on and see. That's pretty light. What does the iron look like? Oh, even lighter. All right, so iron might be out on the white. Netherite, we can chuck that in. All right, I'm going to do it, at least for this one. Oh, and I need to grab some more. I should have just grabbed a full stack there. Let's do that, and a full stack of this, just in case we need it. So we'll do, oh man, and I didn't grab enough of the templates. That's going to be, I think, the hardest part. We're going to have to go look for a lot of diamonds so we can make sure that we duplicate these things. All right, so the next, let's do some of the pants as well, just to see if we like that. Maybe we'll do one of these, but let's do some quartz and see if we like maybe that color. That would be a lot cheaper for us, and maybe a little more enjoyable, or a little more easier for us if we're going to do a whole city. I'm going to do an extra guy here. And if you notice, this guy has arms, or this person has arms and is in a pose. If you haven't done the vanilla tweaks, that's a really cool way to start building characters, is you can customize them quite a bit. So I think for this one, like this is even what's kind of cool, is we could actually blend some of the different armors as well. Now, I don't know if blending it was such a good idea, so maybe let's try not mixed. Yeah, that might be a little bit better. Can I get this guy's head? Nope. All right, that's okay. So I think that's maybe starting to get us there. Gray is the hardest thing, by the way, to work with. You only get so many ideas. But that's kind of the thought process that's going to go behind building some flags out and then building some trims. So let me actually go and build out a few more of these, and I'll bring you back and see what you think. Okay, and now I'm realizing this could get really fun, guys. Like, my concept at first was that we would just kind of come up with one set of clothes, but I kind of like the idea that the armor trim could be really customized for the different people. So we came up with that medieval one, but then as soon as I started kind of getting to the modern district, I gave them a very modern banner, gave them kind of this stripe. I realized, do we need it on the pants always? And so with these next ones, when I was looking at the underworld, like here's kind of their underworld type banner and kind of that armor that would go with it. Now, I don't know if I'm too happy with these. I mainly chose kind of this look because it was going with that new I went with this because of the ancient cities that are down there. And so that might work out that these go together, but I liked how dark these were because they're kind of underground people. But I realized maybe the pants are getting too busy. So starting to look at those with just the regular pants where we just put the trim up here, that might work. Similar to kind of this alien. Like we got the planet with the rings on it. Here's the planet with the rings on it. Kind of going for that. And I like the trim, but I also like sometimes when it's not there. So maybe that's one of the customizations, how we make people feel different. So they're not all identical, is that maybe sometimes they do have the pants trim on and other times they don't. Or maybe we can mix the pants, like maybe we can take one of these type of trims, put it over here. But tell me what you think down in the comments if you like this direction. But I think we're getting onto something here. Now we need to get all the resources to actually be able to pull this off. So let's jump back over to my AchromatiCraft map and let's get checking off more of that list that I had. And jumping right back into our city, let's take a look at what we've done so far. So we got some leather going. We're gonna have to keep breeding up those cows. We got all the dyes, which I put over here. Yep, so a bunch of them. Got some extra bones, some extra ink sacs. Now we need to get that quartz, iron ingots, and netherite. I think the first two we're probably pretty good on. But let's go get some iron, because we have the iron farm, and then see what quartz we've mined so far. Then we'll check out our netherite situation. So let's go over here first. And maybe flying is too fast. Oh yeah, it was way too fast. But we should have plenty. I actually have turned this off because we were getting so much iron. Wasn't using it up fast enough. So we'll take a stack of that. And then let's fly over. And this is probably wasting lots of rockets, but we'll fly over to our storage room and see what we've got here. Let's see, I came for quartz. There we go. All right, so we have a little, and the nice thing is this goes a long way. If we don't, it looks like we do have some quartz ore that we can break down, but we'll at least start with a stack and a half. That should be plenty for now. And then our netherite. 2. Looks like we're going to be doing some digging. Oh, and we're going to need diamonds. Just thought of that too. We're going to need diamonds. I'm going to leave some backups here. We'll just at least take a stack. But maybe it's time to go grind out a little on the netherite and the diamond so we can make the patterns and make the darker trim. So let's double check our list here. Yep, that's our biggest thing. Actually, we could make some armor stands. So let's go drop off these and make some armor stands real quick. And there you go. We're going to be making a ton more of these, so I need to smelt up some more stone to get some smooth stone. But that is going to check off another thing on my list. And if you haven't seen this before, it's really cool. You can put different codes in here. So I'm just going to copy and paste that, delete that, and we get a checkbox. Now, the designer in me really wishes that was an actual interface, but hey, we'll call it good enough. So next I'm going to go do some grinding, get some more netherite ingots and some heads, and then I'll meet you back here. And now to run down to our netherite tunnels. It's not too hard to get to. We've been past this tunnel tons of times. But let's jump straight into mining and hope it comes quick. We've been doing a lot down here. You can see we've already dug out a ton. We're not going to go... Well, actually, let's go all the way down here where we've kind of been doing it in the past, and we'll just keep going. Found one. Let's hope it's more than one here. Oh, yes. That's why you always dig around. Never know if they're going to be a little bit separated. Awesome. So we got 2. Let's keep going. Alright, and it looks like we found another one. Let this be a double as well. No? Oh, yes. 2 more. Okay, now I'm not going to make you sit here and watch. This is a lot of grinding and lots to clear out. So I'm going to keep going, getting through those, and just get a bunch. I don't know how much we'll use the netherite, but I at least want to have that option if we decide to do it. So let me keep digging through here, and I'll meet you back upstairs. Alright, and we made it back out of the nether with 33. Man, that took way too long. I don't know if we're going to get more than that. So that's going to be our start. So we're coming back in our book. Check off some of this stuff. So let's go in here. We're going to say we got at least enough of that and some armor stands. So I'm going to get some more heads. Obviously, that's not real easy. So I'll go out in the world, look for different mobs, see if we can get some more heads. But I think right now we've got a pretty good start. I mean, we can do some serious damage with what we've got. So I think that's going to be a pretty good start. If we try and get some more, I would love chicken heads and some pig heads. Maybe some sheep. Do I even have any sheep? No, I haven't really done much with sheep other than kind of putting them in the factory over there. So we might need to get some more of those heads. I'll do that offline. And that is going to be it for this episode. That was a lot of work. We got a lot of stuff done, a lot of concepting, understanding kind of where we're going to take the different districts. I think I'm stuck on the word district. I think we're going to go with districts rather than kingdoms. And that is going to be it for today. So if you like this direction or have some ideas, please leave them down in the comments. I love reading kind of the ideas y'all have. And definitely make sure to like and subscribe so that I can keep knowing that you guys are interested in this content. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.